Good morning. Yeah, good morning all. So welcome at ICA classes, beta. As we all know that these classes are for accounting standard nowadays. So today we would like to cover first of all the previous accounting standard AS 17, so that if there is any doubt or if there is any working which has been left in that AS, that will be covered first, beta, and then we will go for the next AS 18. So AS is a very important topic of our theoretical as well as practical education, because when we'll go for exam, obviously this chapter will help us. Simultaneously, when we will go for the practical working in our life, even then these AS will help us. Yes, good morning to all, beta. Baswa Raja comes first. Very good. Baswa Raja from South India. So he comes first. Good morning, beta. Partha Sarthi, again from South India. Angel, गुड मॉर्निंग बेटा. आज इंट्रो और फाइनल नवंबर 2022 वालों का रिजल्ट है. मेरा नहीं है तो भी मैं एक्साइटेड हूँ. सो बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर बेटा ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर योर रिजल्ट्स. आई एक्सपेक्ट दैट यू विल ऑल क्लियर विद फ्लाइंग कलर्स. सो CA is a continuous effort. This is just like an actual life. So whomsoever will clear, I would like to congratulate all of them. And if there is any problem, don't be worried, because this is a experience which you will get in this life. So let's assume that as an experience. Don't worry about that thing, that what has happened, what has not happened. Actually, all that is a up and down in the life. Yeah, we must have to do our great efforts. Kushi, Arun, Karthik, Sushil, Alok, Anuradha, Vinay, and many more. So send good morning beta fast, so that your presence can be recorded, that all of you are present beta. Fast, shabash. Let's start beta. Yes, fast. Very good, very good. So send me the doubts in your AS 17 first beta. If you have any type of doubt in AS 17, would like to discuss that, and some advanced points of AS 17 are also required to be discussed. You all have read this in full. पूरा पढ़ लिया बेटा आप लोगों ने? Have you read it in full? Fast. Tell me. पूरा पढ़ लिया आप लोगों ने? Yeah, Nipun, we will discuss beta. Illustration number 4, we will discuss, sir, are the practical questions of pooling of interest method. Are there practical question of pooling of, exactly beta, pooling of interest method practical question may come into your exam. And for that, you should have to refer the chapter amalgamation given in your advanced accounting. Obviously, when you will do that chapter, you will get the question for that. So there's no requirement of doing it now. Beta, Arun, voice is coming, beta. You may please check at your end, because all students are communicating with me. Okay, so would like to start with the AS 17 in such a way so that it can be reviewed once, and the important points which we have already discussed should come into your mind. Okay. So I am coming to the end of your AS17. At the end of the AS17, you should have to understand this thing, that what is the basic requirement of AS17? The basic requirement of AS17 is the reporting part, primary and secondary segment reporting. So this is an important part of our AS17. Means here the major thing is we'll have to identify what is the primary segment, secondary segment. Second thing, we have to identify business segment and geographical segment. But this is for the purpose of only and only when we will go for the practical working in the life. Here, in this theoretical way, you need not to identify these things. Here we have to go for only the questions which will be a practical question, which we have already done to some extent. 3 illustration we have already done. 4th is pending. We will do it today. So the major part is not to identify which segment is which one. That is just a theoretical concept, and that can be memorized only. That cannot be, you may say, that will only be done when we will go into the practical life. So here there is no practical life with us. So see, here it is. In case of any segment, either it is a primary or secondary, what is your basic requirement? Your requirement is to disclose. What you have to disclose? Its revenue, bifurcated into segment revenue from sales to external customer and segment revenue from transaction from other segments with other segments. So there are 2 types of transactions, beta. One is transaction with the customers, and second is inter-segment transfers. Inter-segment transfer means for when goods are transferred, when there is any transaction between 2 segments, primary and secondary, business and geographical, inter-segment transactions. Segment results, carrying amount, segment liability, total cost incurred, total amount of expenses included. So all that you have to disclose. Total amount of significant non-cash expenses other than depreciation. Also, we have to present a reconciliation between the information disclosed for reportable segment and the aggregate information in the enterprise. So segment revenue, segment results, segment assets, and segment liabilities. These are all already discussed. How it is to be presented, that I have discussed through illustration in our previous lecture. Maybe you have done it. If it is a beta geographical segment, means the primary segment is a geographical segment. If it is such, then we have to give the detail of the locations also. Means we have to bifurcate our customers into the geographical area. Okay. In case it is 10% or more. So that we have already discussed, बेटा. देखो आप लोगों को मैंने यही correlate करवा रहा हूँ कि आप लोग कर चुके हो. कोई घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है. So what are the other disclosures? Means primary segment disclosure is required, which is an important part here. Other disclosures are general disclosures, that in measuring reporting segment revenue, inter-segment transaction should be measured on the basis of enterprise actually used to price those transfer. Means whatever the actual price is, that should be noted when we have to go for the interdepartmental transfer beta. And it should be disclosed in the financial statement also, whatever the price base for that, how you have calculated that price, that should be shown. Means it must not include profits basically, because if we'll add profits while calculating our inter-segment transfer, then obviously that means we are adding wrong profits, because in case of inter-segment transfer, there should not be any profit included in our transactions. That is a basic concept. Always remember that whenever any goods are transferred, any transaction is made between 2 segments, then one thing should be very much clear कि उसमें कोई भी profit include नहीं करना हमने. Sorry. So types of product and services included in reportable business segment and indicate the composition of these. So these are the general things, beta. I think this is very much confident. You are very much confident now that you have already covered the maximum part of it. Just we have to go for some definitions which we have to see in this, like what is a segmental liability, what it should include. Otherwise, we all know what means for the liabilities are. The major thing is what it doesn't include and what it should include. So here it should include interest expense. Its segment liability means whatever interest expense is there, that should also be included. Means obviously interest on CC limit, interest on working capital, or interest on you can say loans, etc. Trade and other liabilities, customer advances, product warranty, provision, and other claims should also be shown. But it should not include income tax liability, that is borrowing and other liabilities that are incurred for financial rather than operating purpose, because operating means for we are doing business. So whatever business we are doing, all that should be included. In addition to the business, whatever the liabilities are, that should not be included, beta. So give me some examples of your trade liabilities, operating liabilities. Send me the first. Send the example of whatever is given here, trade and other liabilities, accrued liabilities, customer advances. Except this, any other example which you can say, segment liabilities. First. Yes, trade payables. Very good. Yes, fast, beta. Send it fast. तो ये एग्जांपल्स भेजो इसके लिए. Very good. Very good. Shabash. Fast. Yes. So many examples are already sent by the students. One is the outstanding expense. Second is interest-bearing liabilities, accrued liabilities, bills payable, borrowing for that segment. Interest is a major thing because which has been specifically included here. So interest on CC limit is to be included, beta. Extraordinary items. Okay. Pre-received liability on us by customers. Pre-received incomes. Exactly. Advance from customers. That is not covered by you. Advance from customers. So customers are also giving us advance in number of ways. So if there is any advance received from customer, that should be included. Good. So segment revenue should include what? That is normally known to every student. It includes directly attributable to the segment. Whatever is the income which is directly attributable, means whatever income we have done, that particular segment. In addition to that, it should include the revenue which has been earned jointly by all the segments or few segments. जैसे दो सेगमेंट्स ने मिलके कोई रेवेन्यू जनरेट कर लिया, तो सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा हो जाता है कि दो सेगमेंट या तीन सेगमेंट मिलके काम कर रहे हैं. तो आपको जब काम मिलके करना है तो उस केस में जो भी इनकम होगी उसको प्रोपोर्शनेटली या किसी ना किसी बेसिस पे शेयर कर लेना. सो द बेसिस शुड बी रीजनेबल एंड इट हैज बीन एलोकेटेड अकॉर्डिंगली. दैट इज अ मेजर थिंग. Revenue from transactions with other segments of the enterprise. So revenue generated from the transaction, whichever is done, inter-segment transactions, already discussed. So that should be included. So it is the aggregate, means it should include, and it should not include beta but extraordinary items, interest or dividend income, gains or sale, gains or profits on sale of investments, or on or discount received, you may say, extinguishment of debt, unless the operating of the other segment are primarily of the financial nature. So these are to be excluded: gain on sale of investment or on extinguishment of debt. Any debt is realized, whatever the debt is there, we have realized it, and on that basis we have earned some income. मीन्स कोई पुराना लोन पड़ा था, हमने उसको एक्सटिंग्विश कर दिया, खत्म कर दिया, डेट हमने पे ऑफ कर दिया, तो डेट पे ऑफ किया तो उस पर हमें कोई बेनिफिट मिल गया, कोई लोन रीपे कर दिया या कुछ कर दिया, तो उस केस में। बट अगर वो फाइनेंशियल नेचर ही है, उस बिजनेस का नेचर जो फाइनेंशियल है, मीन्स उस बिजनेस में हम लोग पैसे का ही काम करते हैं, मीन्स वी आर द बैंकर्स, वी आर द लोन प्रोवाइडिंग कंपनी, इन दैट केस इट शुड बी इंक्लूडेड, अदरवाइज इट शुड नॉट। सो आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर। नाउ टेल मी वन थिंग, whether all the points are clear in AS 17. Having any doubt, just tell me. Any doubt? Let's do illustration number 4, especially an important illustration. I think you have already done first, second, and third illustration. Any doubt in first, second, and किसने किया? Just tell me who has done illustration number 1, 2, and 3, because I have already discussed illustration number. Yes, beta. Illustration number 3 we have already done in our previous lecture. Illustration number 1 was also discussed. So tell me, illustration number 2 you have done, and fourth is also understood or not? Last point means illustration. I'm talking about the a student has asked a query regarding the segment revenue. So this is basically if we have earned a profit on sale of investment, so that should not be taken. That should not be taken. Second, if we have earned discount, like discount, or you may say, we can say not on the discount on creditors, that should be included. But if we have paid off any debt, that means long-term debt. So if we have paid off any debt, long-term debt or a short-term debt, not the trade receivables, not the trade payables, sorry, not the trade payables, otherwise than trade payables. So if we have extinguished any debt, any liability, we have paid off that liability, and we have earned discount, or you may say earned some benefit on it. We have to pay rupees 5 crore to a company, and against that we have paid him only 4 crore and 50 lakhs, and it has been settled. 50 lakh profit has been earned on extinguishment of a long-term loan, or such loan, whatever is taken except trade payables. Because if trade payable is there, then it is of operating nature. If it is of operating nature, it should be included. So otherwise than operating nature, it should not be included, beta. Okay. Today response of students is very less. 1, 2, 3 done. Very good. So Already he has given you the divisions: forging division, bright division, other domestic sales and export sales. Forging shop division. Okay. This is the heading. So in this division, what we have done, the bifurcation of forging division is given to you. This is a bifurcation of beta forging division. Total sale of forging division is 10,800 crores or lakhs. It is in thousands. So 10,800 thousands. So this is the sale of your total sale of first division, first segment, you can say. It includes sale to, you may say, other department, other segment, 4575. It includes domestic sales. It includes export sales. These are the sales to customers. Both of these are the sales to customer, but this is not a sale to customer. This is an inter-segment transfer transaction. Bright bar division, it includes sale to fitting division. So this is again inter-segment transfer, and this is a normal sale. Same is here, fitting division, but here there is no inter-segment transfer. Okay. Particulars are given to you. Division-wise particulars are given to you. Head office have already allocated its assets, long-term liabilities, interest, etc. So what we have to do, beta? We have to check about the 10%, one thing that which is to be disclosed. Second thing is, here this has already been made very clear that we have to go for three divisions. These are the three segments: forging, bright, and fitting. These three segments are there. Now, he has already mentioned that how much is the sale to other customers, sale to customers, you can say, not to the inter-segment transaction. So that is already mentioned by him, 90 and 6135 beta, and this is for the others also. So this is a total of external sale. This has been made clear by me earlier also. So this is the inter-segment sale that is already given to you, beta. I already mentioned you that this is the inter-segment sale. Which one? Sale to bright bar division, sale to fitting division, and that's it. These two are the sales of inter-segment transaction. So total is given to you. This is a way of presentation, beta, nothing else. So this is a way of presentation which is to be done by you. Now, segment profit or loss, whatever it is, that is also given to you. See, here it is. Because we have to give the revenue so that we can identify 10% of revenue. Second is the profit, which is also given to you, 240, 30, and 12. Okay. Now, whatever the total is there, out of that we have to deduct expenses. That is also given to you. See, here it is. Head office cost allocated to them. So this is the total cost, 70 plus 30 plus 72 plus 36 plus 36. Interest cost is there. Okay. So there are two costs given to you. So all that is done because this is a way of presentation of financial statements. Okay. So net profit is there after tax beta. Then fixed assets and net current assets are also given to you. So assets are also already given to you. Some unallocated assets are given to you. This is a way of presentation, I am saying again. So all that is done. Now what he has demanded from you, why we have done it all, it has been specifically demanded. See, here it is. Prepare a segment report for publication in the Diversifier Limited from the following details of the company. That's it. So you have to just give the segment report, because segments are already identified by him. You have to just prepare a detail wise segment reporting format. So this format includes, first of all, you have to disclose, because we have already discussed now this thing. If you will see that we have to disclose revenue, we have to disclose profit or loss, whatever we have earned. We have to disclose our assets. We have to disclose our liabilities. These are the four items which we have to disclose, beta. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these four items are required to be disclosed. So he has disclosed all that. This is the first item, total revenue, and then he has disclosed assets, profit loss, and liabilities. So that he has already disclosed all things. This is the way he has demanded. Basically, this has been done through an illustration. Otherwise, it has been mentioned in your AS also, which is not normally understood otherwise. So it has to be done practically. Due to that reason, this illustration was framed and given to you. But unallocated corporate items means, see here it is. So fixed assets are already given to you, 75, 300, and 300, 60, and 180. Okay. So this is regarding forging division. See here it is, beta. Forging division, this is 300 assets. Bright bar division, second division, it's 60. Fitting division, it is 180. So this is what? This is unallocated, because this belongs to head office only. This has not been allocated. And that is not the possibility to allocate them. This is not allocated. This is not allocated. So whatever is not allocated, that has been kept in the name of head office, that is to be shown in the total column only, because obviously total belongs to whom? Head office. So total of these three will go to head office. Total of these three will go to head office. So in that he has added this one, because when you have to show total assets, total liabilities, total current assets, you should have to show the head office asset, liabilities, and net current assets in that. So that he has shown beta unallocated corporate assets. So this is 75 plus 72. That means for current as fixed assets plus net current assets. So these two assets are there. ये दो तरह के assets है बेटा, जिनको उन्होंने ऐड कर दिया इसमें, बिकॉज ये आपके आगे सेगमेंट वाइज जो एलोकेटेड एसेट्स और नेट करंट एसेट उसमें इनको ऐड कर दिया. बड़ा थ्रेटिकल सा ये है, कोई ज्यादा टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Can this question come in the exam? Yeah, any type of question can come into the exam, but mostly we have seen a question which where we have to identify 10% system in your exam. If you will see the previous exams, don't be dependent on me, beta. It will always be better to see the previous exams also. I already suggested you to go for the previous exams, previous papers, so that you can understand better. I already recommended you to bring queries from that also, but you haven't to bring any query from that. It means for you are not doing that. What about the amount given in head office column in the table? It's not used anywhere. But this has been used. No, this is the what it is. This is the amount which has been given in the head office column. Beta 75, 72, and 57. These three items are given in head office column. See here it is, beta. See here it is. $75, $72, and $57 that has been entered now. How head office expenses 144. Okay. $144. This is a total of this. Questions are copy paste of illustrations. Okay, good. Sum of 70 to 36, 36 head of expense exactly. Unallocated corporate assets, beta. Unallocated corporate asset that have also been already shown by me. This is what about unallocated corporate assets, 75 plus 72. Okay, so that has been the total of fixed assets and net current assets of head office beta. Let's come to the next years now. Have you read AS 18 or not? My question is, have you read? Send me the answer. Who has read AS 18? Have you read it? Send yes if you have read it. Fast. Only few students have sent me that they have read it. Waiting for the reply from all. So Ilavarsi, those who have read it, I would like to show the name of them. Anuradha, Ilavarsi, Piyush, Jasha, Vinay. But Vinay has asked a query. Sir, in the illustration, only segment revenue is shown. Why, sir? Better, this is a way of presentation that we have to show only four things in case of this particular AS. According to this AS, we have to show revenue. Second, we have to show profit or loss. Third, we have to show assets. Fourth, we have to show liabilities. So these four are given only. That's it. Abdul, Pritika, others, Vinay, Alok, Shivani. Okay. Sorry. Nadeem, very bad. Beta, you should have to read it. Angel, we have to read it. If you have not read it, na, obviously in that case, your queries will come less. Na? Obviously, you are not able to ask the queries from me. If you have already read it, you may go for the queries in a better way. So I would like to summarize about this AS first. What is AS 18? What is about AS 18? Let's understand that in detail. Now, in brief, sorry. AS 18. What is the name? Related party disclosure. So send me the meaning of related party. According to your opinion, what means for the related party? Give me a general meaning. What means for the related party? No, sir, there is a table after the one you displayed in the book, sir. This is my first lecture of my syllabus. Okay. So that is very bad. You should have to join it from the beginning. But if anyone is not able to join the classes from the beginning, they may go for the recording classes, because recorded classes are available on YouTube also, and also on the that I have seen on app also. So you may go for that better. That will be better. So tell me what means for the related party. Just cope up with me now. No worry. There are two words, related party and disclosure. Waiting for your answers. Who has significant influence? Family members, partners, or subsidiary or holding company. Holding to subsidiary or director, KMP, manager of. Very good. So here, Angel comes first, Jash comes second, Abdul comes third, Shivani comes fourth. Very good. All must send. The person who has significant control. Very good. Relative. Very good. Send your meaning. Even it is repeated by it has already been sent by others. There's no problem. Send it fast, beta. For everyone, SRO, ERO, NRO, and WRO, and CRO. So I would like to see the presence of each and everyone. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. I would like to just disclose the name who are sending the answers, which is good. Vinay, Nadeem, Angel, Jash, Abdul, Shivani, Angel, Abdul, Bala, Bala Vinodhini. Very good. Nadeem, Vinay, Anuradha, Khushi, Priyanka, Partha Sathi, Anuradha, Ilavarsi, Harsh Kumar, Karthik, Ankit, Sharan, Pritika. That's it. It means for no other is interested to send the answer. So till now, these have sent the answer. I would like to thanks to all of you because you are coordinating with me. You are talking with me on this issue. And I have seen the presence of NRO very less in this. I am from the NRO region. That doesn't matter. I am from ICI. I am from the India. I am from this world. There's no problem. But even then, just I am trying to convince the NRO one also that they must have to send it. If they are reading it, they must have to send it. Only Pritika is from NRO who have sent the answer, meaning no one from NRO has sent the answer. So North India is lagging behind in that, which is very bad beta. We will have to compete with each and everyone. So inter-competition will help you to go forward because we have to, in our classes also, in our school also, we are competing with each other and getting very good marks. So that I am interested to create, nothing else. Here there's no vision of creating any division in each of us because we all are together. The world is together. So I also sent already. Very good. Abdul, I have already mentioned. Muhammad Aslam. Achha, okay. This is another name. Jyoti Jha. Good. Very good. From now, the presence of NRSO has also started. There are more cold in North India, North region, but I am also awakened. I am also awakened and teaching you. So this is all with the grace of God. So what is related party that has been given by many students? I would not like to disclose it more. I think you all better knows that wherever there is any relationship, between between our enterprise for which we are doing all these things and the enterprise or person, obviously I should have to write here the person and the person because we have to go for the meaning of Income Tax Act and the person with whom any transaction occurs, with whom any transaction occurs. If there is any relationship, if there is any relationship between our enterprise and the person with whom any transaction occurs, then it is to be disclosed. So this AS is basically regarding disclosure. So here we are not going to discuss about the you would like to say the amounts or anything else. That is just to be disclosed. This is a pure AS which will come into your exam with a general questions, and those questions will also be good questions. You have to presume that this is an important yes from examination point of view also. Here the understanding is only one, that we have to go for the disclosure part of related party transactions. That's it. Now, what means for the related party? That we will go for the definition. That will be a better option. So disclosure is to be given. That's it. So here it is also mentioned. Parties are considered to be related. So parties means already mentioned. Any two parties. One is we, that is the enterprise, and the person with whom transaction is done. If at any time during the reporting period, the important part is the reporting period, that is accounting period, everyone knows, one party has the ability to control the other party. Means one party means any of these two parties, okay, have the ability to control. The definition is given in a very good manner. Ability to control, that's it. So control can be in various ways. Control can be in many manners. So ability to control is there. Whether it is controlled or not, that is not a point, beta. If he has an ability to control or exercise significant influence, ability to control kya kab aata hai? Just tell me, whenever we have, general meaning I'm talking about, whenever we have 50% or we more than 50%, whenever we have more than 50% control on other, then it is called ability to control. Or significant influence means when we have such influence that without us the work can't be done. Our decision is a primary decision. In that case, that is called significant influence. We can change the decision. Means with our power, we can change the decision. In making which decision? Only financial and operating decisions. Financial means for arrangement of funds. And operating means for regarding our business, routine business. That is revenue, income, and revenue expenses. So revenue, income, expenses, arrangement of funds. These are the two things where we have significant influence or we have the ability to control the other party at any time. That means for if it doesn't occur for the full year, even then there's no problem. Means जो control है आपका वो साल में चाहे year में आपके चाहे 1 month रहा हो, even this control, this influence was for 1 month only, or for the day when this transaction has occurred, or even the transaction has not occurred at that day, on that day, but you have significant influence on that day. During the full year, you have to check. During the reporting period, that is full year, you have to check whether there is any such influence, then that is called a related party. उसको related party माना जाएगा. Okay. I think this is all clear. So which type of persons are there? I would like to go with the definition so that you can read it properly. I would not like to go for the brief system because otherwise you will leave that. I know it very well. So here, whenever there is a related party transaction, what you have to do, beta? Name of the related party and nature of the related party relationship. I'm starting from the end. Okay, so this AS can be easily understood when we will start from the end. If you start from the beginning, it will be difficult to understand. So I'm making it start from the end, beta. The related party and the nature of the related party transaction. Where control exists should be disclosed irrespective of whether or not there has been transaction between the related party. Irrespective, matlab, if there is no transaction, even then it has to be disclosed. Name of the related party, any related party name must be disclosed. Nature of the related party relationship, where control exists, should be disclosed irrespective of whether or not there have been transaction between the parties or not. Even if there is no transaction, you should have to disclose the relationship. That this is a relation, these are our related party. We have to give the list of those. Okay. Now, second thing is, which is very important, there have been, if there have been, you may have to underline all things, whatever I am marking here. If there has been transaction between these parties, then what you have to do? You have to disclose name of the transacting related party. Whatever transaction is done with him, with whom the transaction is done, his name, description of the relationship, description of the nature of transaction, volume, any other element of related party, amount of or appropriate proportion of outstanding item. This is the most important thing, that we must have to disclose whatever amount is outstanding from that related party transaction. Means if we have made a sale of rupees 1 crore to, in that 1 crore rupees sale is made to that particular related party, and out of that 80 lakh is yet pending, then that 80 lakh is to be disclosed properly. Outstanding item, it must be disclosed pertaining to related party, balance sheet date, and the most important thing is, if any provision is created on that, this is the amount of debtor, whatever amount is due, and out of that, if any provision is made, like 10% provisioning is done, that is 8 lakhs, then that provision is also required to be disclosed, provision for doubtful debt due from such party. And then if there is any bad debts during the year, or bad debts received during the year, it is to be disclosed. Amount written off or written back in the period in which debt due from or to the related party. Vinay, we may discuss at the end, beta. Disclosure, additional information attached to organization. Very good. Very good. This PDF is not uploaded yet, beta. Okay. Do one thing. Just remind me after the break. Immediately, when I'll come after the break, just remind me at that time. I'll send that PDF immediately in front of you on mail. That will be a better option. Otherwise, I normally forget these types of things, or I may note it down with me also. Yes, just a moment. I would like to note it down. After the break, also remind me. Bala Vinodini. Sir, while reading about related party in the relative section, I would like to come to Harsh. That Harsh, there's no problem. If related party is in the previous year, not in the current year, then it is not required to be disclosed. Very good query. Very good query. These are the points which are to be disclosed, because this is the most important thing. Otherwise, I'm not giving any stress to disclosure. You know it very well. Today, I'm giving stress to disclosure because this AS is basically for the disclosure. So what is to be disclosed? Whatever the amount of debt, provisions, bad debts, and recovery. So these are the 4 things which is required to be disclosed with the more importance. Otherwise, obviously, many other things are to be disclosed, but these 4 things are very important. So note it down, please. First, if related party in the previous year of reporting period, then it is not required to be disclosed in the current period, beta. Manjunath, that is not required to be disclosed in the current period. We are talking about the reporting period, that is only current reporting period, not the previous reporting period. Okay. So disclosure is clear. So some important parts are there. We all know that related party is a routine feature, and in case we have a balance sheet, financial statements with us, we always assume that all transactions are done with all the customers, all the debtors, creditors, bankers, and everyone in a with an arm's length basis between the independent parties, that is willing buyer, willing seller, and the transaction is done at the fair value. So that has been presumed. So to overcome that this type of event has occurred, that there is a related party and any transaction is done with him, we are doing all this AS. This AS is done for the purpose of giving the clarity on the presumption that except these transaction, all transactions at arm's length price, because we doesn't know, there may be a doubt that any transaction with related party may not be at arm's length price, because हम लोग ये मान के चलते हैं कि जो ट्रांजेक्शन हमने अपनी रिलेटेड पार्टी के साथ करी है ना, उसमें हमें ऐसा लगता है कि देयर में भी ये चांस कि हमने उसमें कुछ ना कुछ फेवरिज्म करा हो, तो फेवरिज्म को पता करने के लिए ये सब कुछ किया जाता है बेटा. I think basic reason is clear to everyone. Coming to the definitions now, it will be easy to start from the end because fellow subsidiary, everyone know, I would like to start from this last page. What is the key management personals? Key management personals are the related party. Key management personals are the related party. Actually, who are the related party? That has been specifically mentioned here. See, here it is. These are the five types of related party persons. AS 18 deals only with related party transaction in situation when enterprise data have direct or indirect control. Direct or indirect control, and that control may be through one or more intermediaries also. That may be, or they are under the common control, like you may say Reliance have Jio, Reliance has Reliance Petroleum. So any transaction between these two is a related party transaction because they are under the common control of Reliance. Is that clear? Second is this one. Reliance versus Jio. This is a related party transaction. Reliance versus Reliance Petroleum. This is a related party transaction. So in either way, if you will go, this is a related party transaction. This include holding company, subsidiary, and fellow subsidiaries all. Associates, 20% or more control. 20% or more. Voting power we are saying. Associates are those which have 20% or more voting power. So let's discuss it later better. इसको अभी नहीं करते. Simple है कि जो हमारे associates हैं, जो हमारे joint ventures हैं, if we have joint venture with someone, then individuals owning direct or indirect control, interest in the voting power. They have direct or indirect interest in the voting power, and that gives them control or significant influence over the enterprise and relatives of any such individual. Even relatives of any such individual will also be considered. But when for the relative, we will come to that. So individual owning direct or indirect interest in the voting power of the reporting enterprise and their relatives all are covered here. Here there is no definition of relative. Here there is no definition of relative because these are the companies. Normally these are the companies, right? Or these are of different nature, different type of working. But here we are talking about individuals. So whenever individual is there, individual have relatives. You know it very well. And who is the relative? The definition of relative is very easy, but I would like to show it. Key management personals. Okay, like GM, MD, major directors, like that. Right? Enterprise over which any person prescribed in C or D is able to exercise significant influence. This include enterprise owned by directors or major shareholders of the reporting enterprise and enterprise that have members of key management in the common with the reporting enterprise. That's it. So we'll come to each and everyone one by one. सबके पास हम एक वन बाय वन करके चलते हैं. मेरा सुजेशन है पहले आप एक पॉइंट को पढ़ते जाओ, फिर मुझे बताते जाओ कि आपको समय लगा कि नहीं लगा. तो यहीं से शुरू करते हैं. This has already been covered. Read this first. आप लोग पढ़ लो एक बार. But before that, this is an important thing which is to be discussed, which is not to be included in the related party. Very important. But it is a person is a director in two companies. A person is a director in two companies, but that director have not effect on the policies of both the companies. That director is unable to effect the policies of the company. That is a you may say independent director. Now at times CAs are appointed as the independent director like that. So if a director is there, but that director has not the power, has not the such substantial control. Otherwise, if a person is a director in two companies and having a control on the policy making decisions, then that is named as a related party. But if he doesn't have such control, two companies simply because they have a director in common, unless the director is able to affect the policies of both the companies, when he have that will all be defined in his you may say in his workings. जो उसको एक लेटर मिली होती है जिसमें डायरेक्टर की अपॉइंटमेंट, यू विल हैव टू सी द अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर ऑफ डायरेक्टर. Appointment letter of director. In that all powers are given to him. So you will see his powers. If you think that his powers are not such that he may affect the policies of the companies, in that case, it is not required to be disclosed. Then there's a company AB Limited. Another company is AC Limited. Now, AC Limited have a customer, X Limited. X Limited is purchasing goods from AC Limited. Okay. X Limited is also purchasing goods from AB Limited. So X Limited is a customer of both. This doesn't make them related party with each other. इससे ये AC Limited और AB Limited एक दूसरे की related party नहीं बन जाएगी. Same customer होने से ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Even अगर आपने फ्रेंचाइजी ली हुई है, AC Limited has taken franchisee from X Limited. AB Limited has also taken franchisee from X Limited. Yes, if there is any such a relationship that they may have a relationship with each other, that is a separate issue. But even then, it doesn't affect their working. If X Limited has given franchisee to both AC and AB Limited, even then AC and AB will not become related party with this only one word. Yeah, some other points may create a working. A single customer, single distributor, or general agent with whom an enterprise transacts a significant volume of business. Otherwise, so there is no problem. We know it very well कि हमारे पास एक कस्टमर है जी, वो हमसे सामान ले रहा है, दूसरा कस्टमर भी दूसरी कंपनी से भी वो सामान ले रहा है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. वो कहते हैं सिग्निफिकेंट वॉल्यूम का बिजनेस कर रहा है. वॉल्यूम डजंट मेक एनी प्रॉब्लम. Significant influence make a problem. Yeah, if X Limited have significant influence on A Limited and significant influence on B Limited, both. Now X Limited He may be a customer, maybe a franchisee, maybe anything, franchisor, but he have a significant influence on these two. In that case, they will become related party to each other. But if X Limited doesn't have any significant influence, only here he is doing a significant volume of business, means amount of business काफी अच्छा खासा है उसके साथ जो काम कर रहे हैं, even दोनों के साथ, even then there's no problem at all. It will not be assumed as a related party with them. We have same bankers. Now you know it very well. If there is a company HDFC Bank giving loan to A, giving loan to B, giving loan to C, giving loan to D, it doesn't make A, B, C, C, D related to each other. Common banker is there. It doesn't mean for that due to this reason they all will become related to each other. This will not happen. Trade unions similar हैं, government agencies similar हैं, public utilities similar हैं. So it doesn't make them correlated with each other better. Even there is no disclosure is required in respect of intra-group transaction. If we are making any transaction between two groups, we have various groups. So in that case, it is not required to be disclosed. Read the related party transaction. That is already clear. A transfer of resources or obligations. Resources means for assets. Obligations means for liabilities. So a transfer of assets or liabilities between related parties. Now assets include goods also, fixed assets also, current assets also, everything, whatever is our asset, because stock is also our asset. Now we all know. Liabilities include any liability between related parties, regardless of whether or not a price is charged, it will be assumed as a related party transaction. उसको related party transaction कहा जाएगा और उसकी सारी information आपको disclose करनी पड़ेगी. You have to disclose the complete information of that particular. If there are two groups, one student is asking about intra-group transaction. If there are two groups, otherwise it will be disclosed later on. It will be better because in that case definition will be there and we will discuss that. Just wait, beta. It will be a better option. Any CA in professional capacity for both companies not related party. Exactly right. If I am a statutory auditor of one company and statutory auditor of other company also, then it doesn't make them related party of each other. If I am the internal auditor and of one company and internal auditor of other, even then it doesn't make them related party of each other. That is very much clear. So what means for control is just read it. Any doubt, just tell me. Control. पढ़ो और बताओ कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो. Equity is also counted as a liability in this regard. Just wait, I will talk about the equity also. Abdul, there is a special point given for it. Just send me the query in control. Because मैं आपके लिए थ्योरी पढ़ता भी जाऊंगा तो भी मजा नहीं आएगा. आप पढ़ो और मेरे से पॉइंट्स पूछो वो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. फटाफट भेजो पॉइंट्स जो भी आपको समझ लगते हैं. ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ गुडविल और लॉस बिटवीन रिलेटेड पार्टीज रिलेटेड ट्रांजैक्शन. Treatment of goodwill or loss between related parties. Transfer of. Exactly. Transfer of goodwill or loss between related parties. Between parties is a related transaction. Obviously, between related parties, related transaction. Exactly. Because goodwill or loss is also our assets. So these will also help us. Anuradha. Control of composition didn't understood. Okay. Composition meant for like this. Government says that you have 10 directors. Okay. you have 10 directors. So this is a governing body of that particular company. And this composition of 10 directors can be changed anytime by someone. Who is the someone? That is Mukesh Ambani or Ratan Tata. Government have given power to Ratan Tata or Mukesh Ambani that this company's composition means that out of this 10 directors, 2 from industry, 3 from Government of India, 5 from voting power. So this composition is already framed. Now the power to change the composition, this ratio can be changed, is given to Ratan Tata or the Mukesh Ambani, third party. Why? Because Ratan Tata is made head of those companies which are running into losses. So he has been made head of those companies. A special power is given to them. So in that case, he have the substantial control. He have the control on the composition of the board of directors. Okay. Control clear? Very good. If it is clear to everyone, just send me clear. I would like to go for the next step. Whether control is clear to everyone, just send me fast, better. Fast, जल्दी भेजो. So individual having major shareholding in 2 different companies are the 2 companies related. Individual having major shareholding in 2 different companies are the 2 companies related. Exactly right. But how much it should be, we'll discuss. That will come as a point. Substantial 20% or 25%. It is 20%. Sharon, is there any doubt? So if it is not clear to anyone, just send me. Sir, individual having major shareholding in 2 different companies are the Manjunath already discussed. Yes, I am saying yes. But how much will be the percentage we'll discuss? Just wait. Because the point will come for that. Substantial interest now. Substantial interest is very simple to understand. If an enterprise or individual is considered to have a substantial interest in another company, if the enterprise owns 20%, if the enterprise or individual, enterprise means any company, firm, AOP, BOI, anyone, or an individual own directly or indirectly 20% or more interest in the voting power of the enterprise, and that individual owns directly or indirectly 20% or more interest in the voting power. So that I'm saying, if an individual have 20% or more voting power normally meant for equity shares, but that may include those preference shares which are named as participating preference shares, because they also have the right. So there may be deferred, there may be another equity shareholders also. So I'm talking about the voting power. It may be given in any way. If you have 20% or more voting power in the company, then obviously you have the substantial interest. I think this is clear to everyone. Associate. Associate is an enterprise in which an investing reporting party has significant influence and which is neither a subsidiary nor a joint venture of that party. It is not subsidiary of ours. This is like nowadays seed funding is done. Seed funding, you have listened about the word seed funding or startup funding. So in that case, if someone is giving us any funding, then obviously that investing reporting party has significant influence. It is neither our subsidiary nor our holding nor our joint venture even, but it is giving us seed funding, and obviously they have a control on us to some extent, so they may become our associate. So this is all about whatever is mentioned in the agreement. When this seed funding is taken, when this startup funding is taken, when this funding is taken. So if any such thing is mentioned in the agreement, then it should be considered. Okay. What means for control? Okay. Control includes, very simple, it includes ownership directly or indirectly or more than one half of the voting power of an enterprise. In simple words, you have control का मतलब भी ये होता है बेटा. Whenever we are talking about control, that means for we have more than 50% control on that on the other organization. 50% से ज़्यादा control. If you have more than 50% control, and that control may be in any way, by way of voting power, or by way of control on the compositions of the directors, or by way of substantial interest in voting power and the power to direct by statute or agreement the financial and or operating policies of the enterprise. Means you have the complete control. You can say even more than 50% means for you have the major control. Without you, the enterprise can't take any decision. So your contribution is a real contribution to that particular organization. Control have a very simple meaning. Like ICA have a full control on BOS. We know it very well, Board of Studies. ICA have full control on their branches, whatever branches are running. Okay. Then government have full control on SBI. Government have full control on LIC. Why? Because government have more than 50% share in these companies. Government have full control on PNB. Government have full control on Bank of India. Government have full control on Oriental Insurance. Government have full control on New India Insurance. Government have full control on Railway. Government have full control on means wherever we have more than 50% control on the other. Reliance have full control on Geo. Reliance have full control on Reliance Petroleum. Even some shares are issued to the public, but 50% plus shares are with me. 50% voting right is with me. Or if there is no such issue of share like municipal corporations, so they doesn't issue their share, but they are under the influence of the state government. So due to that reason, they are the state government have full control on them. Okay. So all that means control have very simple meaning, beta. It doesn't have any technical meaning. Let it be very much clear. If a person has 20% or more convertible preference shares, is it called substantial interest? No, beta. It is all about today's voting power. So they have not converted in it today. Yeah, this may be considered somewhere else, not here. They will be named as potential equity shares. Okay. So their name is there, potential equity share, but we will discuss it later. That will come into next AS. Significant influence. Let's read it. Significant influence, and then tell me if there is any query. Read fast. Ask the query. Insignificant influence. If there is no query, send me. It's clear. Waiting for your answers. Sharon, it's you will have to read it first. First of all, read it. Whatever is given in your module or whatever is given in the screen, read it and then ask the query. It will be better option. Then give the answer. Very good. Mitesh by Manjunath, very good. Send all if it is clear. He says significant influence is basically what means. Influence means impression, that whatever we say, that is worth, that have a worth, that is considerable. If whatever we say that is considerable, that is called our influence. Okay. Significant means for obviously if it has an impact. If it doesn't have an impact, they will just listen it and they can ignore it. Then it doesn't mean for they have a significant influence. But if they have to listen and agree with it to maximum extent, then it is called significant influence. Now, where it should be in financial or operating decisions, because we have already discussed that this is regarding financial and operating decisions, but not control of those policies. Is participating in the financial or operating policy decisions, but not control of those policies. It doesn't have control. If we have a control, it means for whatever we say that is right. 50% plus control is there, majority control is there. Here, there is no majority control. Here, they will have to listen to me. Yes, it may or may not affect their actual decision. So this significant influence can be taken through share ownership. We have more than 20% or more shares in a company, more voting power in a company. Okay, by way of share ownership. Statutory, it is by law. Law means government has appointed a person, Venugopal Raja, maybe Mr. Venugopal Raja, as the director of State as a director of State Bank of India. So if he has been appointed as a director of State Bank of India, that means for with a special power that whatever he say that must be listened and he will be a part of the policy decisions. Now, where he may participate in that. He doesn't have full control, but he will have to participate in that. So that is by statute, by Government of India. Agreement means it has been agreed that whatever the means I have taken over a company, in that the previous owner has appointed a person that he must remain into the policy decisions of that company, and it is mandatory. So I have purchased the company with that condition. In that case, that person have a significant influence because he may participate in the policy decisions of that company. Okay. If an investing party holds directly or indirectly through intermediaries 20% or more, this is another thing that is that I am talking about the funding, you know. So if you have taken funding from somewhere, any investor is there and they have 20% or more voting power in our company, then obviously they have significant influence. A substantial or majority shareholder ownership of another investing doesn't necessarily preclude an investing party from a substantial or majority ownership by another investing party doesn't necessarily preclude an investing party from having significant influence. Substantial or majority ownership. Now it means for if A Limited or if HDFC Limited is a part of our policy decisions. Why? Because they have given a funding to us. In another way, ICICI also has given me the funding, and they are also part of my policy decisions. They may also participate in the policy. It doesn't mean for that if one is there, second may not be there. This is not the point. Both may be there. Due to the reason of someone else, the power of one cannot be reduced. Okay. अब इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अगर आईसीआईसी भी आ गया तो एचडीएफसी का जो राइट है वो कम हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, दोनों हो सकते हैं. who cannot change decision, who can participate in decision. Beta, Angel, you should have to let it be clear that earlier we are talking about the changing of decisions when we are discussing about control. Beta, in case of control, we can change the decisions. Okay. But in case of significant influence, we cannot change the decision. We can participate in the decisions. Let it be very much clear. So that I would like to explain you. This is participation. This is controlling. Control means for changing the decision. We can change the composition, whatever हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. We have the complete power. Significant influence में हमारे पास सारी power नहीं है. हम सिर्फ participate कर रहे हैं policy decisions में. That's it. एसोसिएट में क्या था हमारा सिग्निफिकेंट मतलब सिग्निफिकेंट इन्फ्लुएंस जो है वो एसोसिएट के केस में हमारे पास होता है. ठीक है. सब्सटेंशियल इंटरेस्ट जो है वो 20% या 20% से ज्यादा होता है. ये सारी चीजें आपको क्लियर होनी चाहिए. सो आई एम कमिंग टू की मैनेजमेंट पर्सोनल नाउ. हु इज द की मैनेजमेंट पर्सोनल? We all know that who have the authority and responsibility for planning, directing, and controlling the activities of the enterprise. Who may plan, who are the part of planning, means the person who are the part of planning, directing, and controlling. These include even the managers also. You know it very well. Of the activities. Okay, it include managers. It include our directors, MDs, anyone. Matlab, this is a part of our management. We can say whomsoever is a part of our management are named as key management personas. Okay, very small definition. So what means for the relative? We have already discussed the word relative here. If you will see, we are just explaining this particular, we are just explaining these A, B, C, D, E in our below mentioned details. Here, one word was there, that was relative. Yeah, relative and of any such individual. So who is the relative, beta? In simple word, relatives are our family, not the spouse family, we can say. Spouse family is to be left, remaining is all our relatives. You may think upon, leave the spouse family. Obviously, in that case, who is there? Spouse is there, son, daughter, brother, sister, father, and mother. So these are the relatives. Wife, son, and for wife, husband, obviously spouse, you know? Son, daughter, brother, sister, father, and mother. That's it. Any person, out of these, any person. I'm talking about any person who may be expected to influence or be influenced by that individual, and which is neither a subsidiary in his or her dealing with the reporting enterprise. That's it. So simple definition is given that these will be named as a spouse, or these will be named as a relative. So what is joint venture? Joint venture is normally known to everyone. This has been done in CA Foundation on the previous classes also. So when two or more than two persons agreed to work jointly with a contract between each other, they are doing some economic activity which is subject to joint control, then they are named as joint venture. So if A Limited and B Limited both are working together, then they are named as they are working under a joint venture. Okay, so if they have taken an agreement, taken a business jointly somewhere, so that is named as joint venture. So there should be a joint control of both of them. That is contractually agreed sharing of power to govern the financial and operating decision of that particular economic activity. In that economic activity, obviously they will be assumed as a related party. Very simple definition, normally known to everyone. Holding subsidiary is also very simple. Everyone knows 50% or more means a company having one or more subsidiaries is a holding company. Now, what is a subsidiary in which another company hold either by itself or through one or more subsidiaries more than one half in nominal value of its equity share capital. In nominal value, okay, or of which another company control either by itself or through one or more subsidiaries the composition of its board of directors. So if it controls the composition of directors or it holds 50% or more equity shares in another company, it will be named as a subsidiary. And whomsoever company has a subsidiary, he will be named as a holding company. Fellow subsidiary, company considered to be a fellow subsidiary of another company if both are subsidiary of the same holding company. If A Limited, like we have already discussed, that Jio is a subsidiary of Reliance, Reliance Petroleum is also subsidiary of Reliance, then both are fellow subsidiaries. Both are also named as fellow subsidiaries, beta. So I think this is all clear. Direct blood relationship, exactly right. If I have 19% voting power in a company and are 2% voting power in its holding company, if I have 19% voting power in a company and 2% voting power in its holding company, no, then in that case, it is not going to become a significant influence because we can't club it. Yeah, if I have 19% voting power in a company and my another associate, my another relative, my another associate or my relative have 2% share in that same company, then in that case it will become 21%. Then myself and my associates may jointly have significant influence. Okay, step note covered here. Next step, mother. Okay, joint venture was in CMA Foundation. Sir, son, daughter-in-law also comes under the relative. Exactly, sir. Son, daughter-in, no, son is covering, daughter-in-law is not covered. Today's CA result. All the best for your result, beta. May God bless you all with flying colors. This is my good wishes for you. But don't worry about anything. Be relaxed. In auditing, the relative includes, yeah, in auditing, the meaning may be different. Here we have to go with the AS, accounting standard beta. Okay. So this AS is purely clear. After the break, we will go for the next one. Okay, then. Have a break. Welcome back after the break, beta. So, according to my opinion, you have already completed this AS now. There's no problem now. Having any problem, then send me. Expecting there's no problem. Having any problem, then send me fast, beta. फटाफट भेजो problem. Send your problems fast, beta. Reminder to upload. Okay, done. Look, I'm going to upload it now. I'm going to send it. It will be uploaded today positively. Just a moment. It will help you to those who are unable to download it. I would like to send it because otherwise it is also available. So I've sent it, beta. I think it will be beneficial for you in future now. Okay. No problem, sir. Who is saying to upload? Tell them. Okay, no problem. Basically, students are unable to download it somewhere, so I'm sending it. No problem. I'll also send one more thing, whatever is important. So let's start with the AS29 now. I'm going to over the last AS. Obviously, remaining are yet pending, but now I would like to go for the concept of tough, easy. So it should be, well, whatever is easy to understand. I would like to go it. So this is a comparatively very simple and easy ES, which you will do it within just half an hour or 45 minutes, whatever is available with us. Tomorrow ES is very important. That is, tomorrow means ES in the next lecture. That is, which one? Next ES कौन सा रहेगा जो हमने cover करना है इसके अलावा? AS19 leases. So next AS is AS19 leases, which will be covered in the next lecture. Today I'm not interested to cover it because that is comparatively a vast AS, and it is not possible to cover it within just 45 minutes. Yeah, in 45 minutes, I may cover AS29, which is an important AS from examination point of view also. And also, you have already done many things regarding this AS. So the name itself defines its word: provisions, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets. So what means for provisions, beta? What means for provision? First, send the answer. What is provision? In your general meaning, in your words, not according to AS. I am just asking you according to your knowledge, what means for the provision? The estimate, okay. Send it fast, beta. सारे लोग भेजो. Very good. Angel, Abdul, Alok, Shivani, Kritika, Pranav, Ankit have sent it yet. Waiting for the remainings to send. Jyoti, Anuradha, Manjunath, Piyush, very good. Vinay, very good. So those who have sent provisions, send me the meaning of contingent liabilities fast. Contingent liabilities. Those who have sent the meaning of provisions. Those who haven't sent the meaning of provision, first send the meaning of provision, then come to contingent liabilities. Jyotija comes first. Bala Vinodini. Angel, very good. Pranav, very good. वेरी गुड. रिमेनिंग हैव नॉट सेंड इट. बेटा जो लोग शांत बैठे हैं, जो भेजते नहीं है कुछ भी लिख के, आराम से शांति से देखते जा रहे हैं, उनको क्या फायदा है बताओ पढ़ने का? अगर आप पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करोगे तो कैसे पढ़ाई होगी? देखो एग्जाम में भी तो हमने पार्टिसिपेट ही तो करना होता है. एग्जाम में क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे, आप आंसर दोगे. तो आज मैं प्रैक्टिस करवा रहा हूं तो करो ना. आपके फायदे में प्रैक्टिस करवा रहा हूं बेटा. फटाफट किया करो, आंसर भेजा करो. शाबाश. अपना दिमाग लगाओ और भेजो. ये ना सोचो कि गलत हो जाएगा. देखो मैंने किसी का आंसर पढ़ के नहीं बताया. आप लोग गलत बता रहे हो, सही बता रहे हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स मस्ट सेंड द आंसर्स. If I am asking, बेटा इससे क्या फायदा होगा? Whether it will be beneficial if you send the answer, because in exam how you will clear it? In exam also what we have to do is we have to give the answers. So this is a practice session. If we are doing practice, then it is a beneficial thing. So do the practice. I am asking the queries, give the answers. Beta, very bad. Those who are not giving the answer, it is very bad on their part. And also try to join from the app for giving these answers, because on YouTube we doesn't have these options available with us. These are option of chatting with me is available on SSP portal on app. So you may download the app of ICI BOS. Okay, on that this option is available. So you can chat with me from there. Even students are chatting from there and seeing the video on YouTube. I have seen that number of students are there doing this thing also. So let's understand each and everything by way of definitions and meanings. I'm not interested to discuss the general meanings now, because general meanings are already sent by the students in number of ways. I'm interested to go for the technical meaning. Beta, we have already done provisions in our previous classes. So Sharon, you should have to know, because if you doesn't know anything about provisions, it means for you have not done +1 in a proper way. So if you have not done +1 in a proper way, it means for there is a risk for your CA classes, CA course, because CA course can be clear easily if you know each and everything. But if you have doubts in studies, then how you can clear it, beta? So let's start with what means for AS 29, provision, contingent liabilities and assets. So this is basically for discussing the accounting treatment of contingent assets. What is the treatment of contingent assets? Accounting treatment of contingent asset that we have to discuss. Also, the objective is to ensure appropriate recognition criteria and measurement basis. Recognition criteria means for when we have to recognize it, that this is our provision, this should be our contingent liability, this should be our contingent asset. This is to be recognized. Even amount is not known. Amount known, if we know the amount, then it is called measurement basis, which are to be applied for provisions and contingent liabilities. Means valuation is made, how much should be the value of this particular. Recognition is done to know that we have a contingent liability, we have a provisions. We need to create a provision, we need to create a contingent liability in our books of accounts. Okay. So this is all about those resulting from financial instruments that are carried at fair value. So AS 29 should be applied in accounting for provisions and liability in dealing with contingent assets. Other than means it will not be applied on any loss if we are expecting on financial instruments, that is mutual funds, shares, debentures. If we are expecting any loss on that, that will not be covered under it. Executory contracts. We will discuss the meaning of executory contract, except where the contract is onerous. We will discuss the meaning of these two lines. Insurance enterprise contracts with policyholder, we will not cover that in this AS. Those covered by other accounting standards, means if anything is already covered in other AS regarding provisions, contingent liabilities and assets, then that will not be covered in this AS. This AS will cover the remaining, because this AS is for covering all except those which have already been covered somewhere, either in a law, like insurance company provision, contingent assets, liabilities are already covered in law. That is Insurance Companies Act. Banking is covered under Banking Regulation Act. Okay. Mutual funds are also covered under their special acts. Okay. Stock exchange is also covered under their special act. So special acts are there. There's no problem. But where there is no special act, in that case, provision, contingent asset and liabilities are to be covered here, beta. Yeah, I'm asking a provision in general, beta. Okay. So first of all, what means for executory contract? Executory means for equivalent. In simple words, equivalent. So in which neither party has performed any of its obligation. Means both the parties have some obligations to be performed, but none of them has performed, or they have performed equally. Means now whatever is the obligation, that will depend upon case to case basis. But executory means for where both parties are at equivalent level. No party is superior than the other. Now one party has covered 60% of the work, 60% of the conditions. Other party has not fulfilled any condition. So that will not be assumed as executory contract. Executory meant for where both parties are at equivalent level. None has performed or partially performed equivalently their obligations. Is called executory contract. Provision, we know it very well when we have an expectation that some liability will arise in future, and we are able to estimate that liability with substantial degree of estimation. That is called, means we can measure it, that we are expecting a loss of rupees 1 lakh will occur to us from a contract which has been taken this year. Then in that case, if we are expecting a loss in future, then it can be entered in the books of accounts as a provision. Now we all know that provision is to be entered in the profit or loss account. it is to be written off to P&L account. It is reducing our profit. We all know that. If any future liability cannot be measured reliably, then no provision is to be created for this. No provision can be created. Then we cannot create any provision for that. Provision can be created only and only if we can measure the liability reliably. Measure the loss reliably, not the liability even, it is a loss. It may be a loss. Liability word is written here, but liability meant for any type of loss which may occur in future. A provision is a liability which can be measured only by substantial. This is the wording which has been given in AS, but I would like to explain you what it means for the liability. It's a present obligation of the enterprise arising from past event, the settlement of which is expected to result in an outflow means. So this means for a payment which we have to make now due to the reason of efforts done in the past. An obligation event is an event that creates an obligation that results in an enter having no realistic alternative to settle that obligation. Means we have to do that work that is called obligation. अगर कोई हमें लगता है ना ये काम करना ही पड़ेगा उसे obligation कहा जाता है बेटे. Obligation का मतलब क्या होता है जो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा. The work which we have to do is called obligation. What is an onerous contract? That means for loss making contract. Onerous contract is a loss making contract. If we have taken a contract in which we will get total contract price, total revenue, contract price or revenue, whatever you can say, is rupees 100 crore. But here we know it very well that our cost which must be incurred, not yet done, the work which will be done. We are expecting that the cost will be 110 crores. So there is a loss of rupees 10 crore. That is the expected loss. So onerous contract meant for the contract where loss is expected. That is called onerous contracts. Where we are expecting loss in future. You may also write everything in general meaning because when you will read it once again, then you will suffer the problem that you are not able to understand it. You are going to read it once again. It's better if you will make notes better. These AS can be done by way of preparing notes. And notes should be in simple language. So that I am giving you. You may have a copy on that. You should have to write it in simple words. If you know each and everything in a simple meaning, then it will be easy to understand बेटा. तो मजा आ जाता है पढ़ने का. एग्जाम में क्लियर करने का एक ही तरीका होता है. जब भी थ्योरी आए ना, so whenever you get theory papers, like this is a theory paper. If we are talking about accounting standards, these are the theory questions. So if you are getting theory, then what you have to do? You have to make notes of it in simple language. In simple language, and also do one thing. After reading, write in your own language. Test yourself. To test yourself. This is the secret of clearing CA or any other technical exams. If you will do each and everything, by writing or by the concept, whatever the secret of that, then obviously you will clear each and everything. This definition is already covered. Now talking about contingent liability, we have already covered this definition. It means for a present obligation and a possible obligation. Present obligation means the obligation which has already been arised. From where? From past events. So the present obligation that arises from past event, but it is not confirmed yet. There is a chance that this amount may be paid due to the reason of this. A case has been lodged against the enterprise. A case has been lodged against the enterprise 3 years back, and we are expecting that we have to pay 2 lakh rupees for this case in future, not yet, in future. So this may be contingent liability. So this is called present obligation that arises from past event, but it is not recognized. Yeah, it is not confirmed, but we have not entered it in the books of accounts, but we are expecting it. But if expectation is sure, then we have to create a provision for that. Provision meant for the recording of future losses now. So if we are expecting any future loss, then it should be entered in the books of accounts now. So that is called a provision. And if we are saying that this loss may occur or may not occur in future, depends upon certain circumstances, then it will be kept pending as a contingent liability. So it's a possible obligation that arises from past event. The existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events that has already been covered in AS4 also, already discussed in detail. So regarding present obligation, because it is not probable that an outflow will be required to settle that obligation. Means it is not probable that amount may be paid. If it is estimated, a reliable estimate of the amount of the obligation cannot be made. If it is not possible, then it is treated as contingent liability. If it is possible to be if the amount is possible to be created, then it will be treated as provision. Okay. The difference in provision and contingent liability is only one. Whatever the contingent liability is, whatever amount we are expecting to be paid in that case, that will be assumed as provision. Contingent asset is a possible asset that arises from past event, and it will be confirmed only with the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events, not wholly within the control of the enterprise. This is not required. Now, regarding provision, it is to be entered in P&L account. We all know that. It is to be provided for. What is the treatment of contingent liability? But what is the treatment of contingent liability? Fast. क्या ट्रीटमेंट होता है कंटीन्यूअल लायबिलिटी का? I am asking the treatment. If contingent liability is in foreign currency, obviously covered under AS11, interest on income tax will come under contingent liability. Interest on income tax will not come under contingent liability because interest on income tax to be paid is normally confirmed now, Pritesh. So there is no problem. Shown and footnote. Okay, disclosed the footnote. Result declared. Okay, very good. Have you also given the exam, Shivlani? Yes, and the answer, make provision and disclosure in balance sheet. Okay. Recognize in financial statement. Okay. Disclosure in notes of accounts. Okay. It has to be disclosed. Good. No, sir. Existed to other result. Okay. So while talking about provisions, these are the confirmed liabilities which will arise in future. We are expecting that this loss will occur in future, hence entered in P&L account. Contingent liability is shown as a footnote under the balance sheet, and contingent assets are just shown in notes to accounts. That's it. Present obligation, we know it. Possible obligation, just read it and ask the queries from me. Restructuring is a very good point. Restructuring meant for when we have planned and controlled is a program that is planned and controlled by management and materially changes either the scope of the business or the manner in which the business is conducted. So restructuring means for we are restructure the business in whole, as a whole. So scope is changed or the manner in which the business is conducted is changed. Very simple. So provision definition is already discussed. Present obligation definition is already clear, I think. Past event, the event which has been occurred in the previous years is a past event in the past. So these are all simple theoretical matters. Reliable estimate of the obligation. So that we know that if reliable estimate can be made, then it will be treated in the books of accounts. So let's take an example. I have taken a contract for worth rupees 1 crore. Contract is taken in 2021-22. Contract work has already been started. Or you may say we have received an order. That is a better option, because if we'll talk about contract, then ES7 will come to our mind. So in 2021 to 22, we have received a order for supply of 1 crore of the goods. Already supplied goods worth rupees 20 lakhs in 21-22. And the cost of the goods supplied is worth rupees 15 lakhs. So we have earned a profit of 5 lakh in the current year. There is no problem. But in the before finalizing the balance sheet, we can say before finalizing the balance sheet, what happened? Before finalizing balance sheet, that is in the month of April, the rates of the cost of the product which is to be supplied has been increased, but the order has been taken at the old price, and we are expecting a loss due to the reason of increase in prices. So we have to supply these goods. Remaining goods are to be supplied for rupees 80 lakhs against rupees 80 lakh of the contract, and we are expecting that this will cost us 90 lakh. Means the cost of the goods to be supplied is 90 lakhs, whereas revenue is 80 lakh, which is pending. So we are expecting a loss of rupees 10 lakh. So tell me how much is to be entered as a provision. Whether 80 lakh will be entered as a provision, 90 lakh or 10 lakh. What will be entered as a provision, beta? Provision में क्या डालेंगे? What will be entered as provision? Okay, send the answer, please. The question is that we have taken a contract for rupees 100 lakh, that is 1 crore. The work has already been performed for 20 lakh, that the goods have already been supplied for rupees 20 lakh. The cost of the goods is 15 lakh. Obviously, a profit of rupees 5 lakh is to be recognized in the P&L account this year. So the profit of rupees 5 lakh is already entered in the books of accounts now. Now what happened? Before finalizing the books, in the month of April, we come to know that the balance goods worth rupees 80 lakh is to be supplied yet, for which the cost, the value, the expenses, the price has already been increased to 90 lakh. When you will supply these goods in the next year, obviously we know the price will increase to 90 lakh and we have to incur rupees 90 lakh to supply these goods. Now, how much will be entered in profit or loss account? In the previous year, that is 21-22, fast. Very good. Shivlani has given the answer. Very good. Sharan has given the answer. Very good. Fast, send me the answer, beta. Fast, send the answer. So we will not enter rupees 90 lakh, which is the cost to be incurred in future. We will not enter rupees 80 lakh as our revenue, which will come to us in the future. Instead, we will enter rupees 10 lakh as a future expected loss, and that loss will be named as a provision in the profit or loss account. So we'll enter rupees 10 lakh. Everyone knows it? ठीक है, तो 10 लाख रुपए हम लोग डालेंगे इसमें. But in case it is not confirmed that like someone has sued us in court, and due to that reason we have to pay, we may have to pay. If we will lose the case, we may have to pay rupees 1 crore to him. Otherwise, there is no chance. So till now, it is not sure that we may or may not lose this case. We are expecting to win this case, then there's no problem, then there's no issue. If we are expecting to lose this case, then we have to create a provision. But till now, it is not sure that whether we will lose the case or win the case. So, or we have more chances of winning the case. In that case, you will have to work accordingly. So if someone has sued you in the court on 15th of March 22, while finalizing the books on 31st of March 22, the person who has sued you in the court, case is yet going on. But we are expecting that we may lose this case. We may lose this case. And we have to pay a compensation worth rupees 20 lakhs. Now, what do we have to do? Whether it will be treated as a provision, contingent liability, or contingent asset. Fast. हमने 15 मार्च को हमारे पे किसी ने स्यू करा है और हमें लग रहा है कि ये नेक्स्ट ईयर हम लोग केस लूज कर जाएंगे. अभी नहीं हुआ फाइनल, बट 22-23 में हमें लग रहा है कि ये केस हम लोग हार जाएंगे और हमें 20 लाख का कंपनसेशन देना पड़ सकता है. ऐसा हमें एडवोकेट कह रहा है, हमें सुजेस्ट कर रहा है कि देखो चांसेस तो है, बट वो ट्राई करेंगे, देखो अगर बच जाए तो, नहीं तो 20 लाख तो देना पड़ सकता है आपको. काफी चांसेस हैं इसके. तो हाउ मच प्रोविजन इज टू बी क्रिएटेड और हाउ मच कंटिन्यूअल लायबिलिटी इज टू बी शोन? जस्ट फास्ट. Think it will be treated as a contingent liability or a provision. Fast. Bala Vinodhini, very good. Piyush, very good. Abdul, very good. Shabash, good, good, good. Send me the answer. Remainings also fast, beta. Yes, it will be treated as a provision, not as a contingent liability only. It's a contingent liability, I know it very well. But here provision is also to be created. It's a contingent liability worth rupees 20 lakh. But simultaneously a provision is to be created for 20 lakh. Because here we are sure to some extent that 20 lakh may be paid. So if we are expecting that this amount may be paid, then we can create a provision for that. It will be shown as a contingent liability. Simultaneously, provision is to be created. Okay. An enterprise should not recognize a contingent liability, but should be disclosed unless the possibility of an outflow of resources embodying economic benefit is remote. So here it is remote. I am saying that we are expecting that 20 lakh is to be paid in the future. So it is remote that we have to pay. So due to that reason, it will be treated as a contingent liability. Simultaneously, provision of rupees 20 lakh is to be created. Okay. So both things will be done. When an enterprise is jointly and severally liable for an organization, for an obligation, the part of the obligation that is expected to be met by other parties is treated as a contingent liability. The enterprise recognizes a provision for the part of the obligation for which an outflow of resources embodying economic benefit is probable, except in the extremely rare circumstance where no reliable estimate can be made. Means contingent liability is to be entered in the books of accounts, but where we are expecting that this much amount may be paid, then provision is to be required for that purpose. Contingent asset. So whether we can recognize it, whether we can estimate the amount or not, that is not a problem. It arises from unplanned or other unexpected events that give rise to the possibility of inflow. An enterprise should not recognize contingent asset, since this may result in recognition of income that may never be realized. Do not anticipate gain point is there. So it is not disclosed in the financial statement. It is usually disclosed in the report of the directors. It will be shown in the report of directors. Are assessed continuously, and if it becomes virtually certain, means it is 100% confirmed that the payment will be received, only then it will be shown as an income in the books of accounts. Okay. So contingent asset के केस में clear है आप सभी को? You may read this table also. Measurement best reliable, best estimate, ये भी हमने कोई ज्यादा टफ नहीं है, सिंपल है. Future event meant for the event which will occur in future. Expected disposal of asset. So if we are expecting any disposal of asset, then its gain cannot be entered in the books of account. If we are expecting that we will sell one of our plant and machinery for rupees 10 lakh and we will earn rupees 1 lakh profit on it. This year we have made an estimate in our mind that in the next year, we may dispose of one of our asset and earn rupees 1 lakh on it or lose rupees 1 lakh on it. Even in that case, it will not be entered in the books of accounts. Whenever it will be actually done, it will be entered in the books of accounts as per AS 10, because AS 10 is a specific AS for disposal of fixed assets is there. So it will be done accordingly. मतलब अगर हमें लग रहा है कि हम फ्यूचर में एक एसेट बेचेंगे, उसमें हमें फायदा होगा या नुकसान होगा, तो उसको ना कंटीन्यूअस एसेट ना कंटीन्यूअस लायबिलिटी कुछ भी नहीं डालना, उसकी कोई प्रोविजनिंग नहीं करनी बेटा. जो काम देखो, जो इवेंट हमने स्टार्ट कर दिया, ये हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था ऑलरेडी AS4 में भी, कि जो काम हम लोग स्टार्ट कर चुके हैं AS5 में भी डिस्कस किया हमने, उसी के बारे में कंटीन्यूअस एसेट्स लायबिलिटीज की बातें होती हैं. जो इवेंट हमें लगता है कि हम नेक्स्ट ईयर में कि हमें कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेना पड़ेगा 10 लाख का, और उस पर मुझे लगता है कि मुझे 2 लाख का लॉस भी होगा, अरे भैया ना लो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फिर वो. If we are expecting that we will get a contract or get a order of rupees 10 lakh in the next year, and we may suffer a loss of 2 lakh, then it is to be entered in the books of accounts or not? We are expecting that we will get a contract in the next year for rupees 10 lakh and expecting a loss of rupees 2 lakh on that, whether it is required to be entered in the books of accounts now as a provision, contingent liability or anything else? Yes or no? In 21-22, we are expecting that we may get a project, get a order of sale of goods in the next year for rupees 10 lakh. But we are expecting that a loss of rupees 2 lakh may occur in that year. So whether it will be entered in the books of accounts now as a contingent liability or a provision? Yes or no? Congratulations, Vinay. Alok comes first, very good. Piyush comes first, second, very good. Vimal comes third, very good. Everyone, yes or no? Everyone, send the answer, beta. Very good, Abdul. Thank you so much for classes in Group 1, sir, especially insurance claim. Okay, you have taken insurance claim classes of mine, Vinay. He has cleared. So congratulations to Vinay. He has cleared Group 1. Very good. So many students have sent the answer. Very good. And the answer is 100% right by all of them. So it means for the concept is clear to everyone that in this case, it will not be entered in the books of accounts. So these are very simple points. No tension or no problem is there. Yeah, if we must have to review the provisions at the end of every year. If we have created a provision of 2 lakhs for a future event at the end of 21-22. Now, at the end of 22-23, this event has not yet occurred. The decision has not yet come. Even it is pending. Now we have to review the provision, whether provision of 2 lakh is sufficient or we have to increase or decrease it. At the end of 22-23, we expect that the provision is to be reduced by rupees 50,000. That is only provision of rupees 1,50,000 is required. Then we can change the provision. There's no problem. We can reduce the provision by rupees 50,000. If we have created the provision earlier and later on in the next year we come to know that the provision is to be reduced, then we may reduce it. There's no problem. It should be reviewed at the end of each balance sheet date and adjusted to reflect the current best estimate. If it is no longer probable, then an outflow, the provision should be reversed. If we are expecting that the provision is not required, that it is required at nil value, then obviously we may reverse it. There's no problem. It's very simple. Means if once a provision is created, it doesn't mean so it will remain as it is. It will be reviewed at the end of every year. Even contingent liabilities and assets are to be reviewed at the end of every year. So provision is to be created specifically for future operating losses or restructuring. And the disclosure is to be given for each class of provision beta. Carrying amount of the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Any addition made to the provisions, like we have to make a proper performa for you that like this. How to disclose the provisions? That is very simple. Opening balance of provision, then additions during the year, then provision used during the year, then provision reversed as no longer required, and closing balance of provision. So that is the way how it will be disclosed. This is the proper format of it. Note it down. Provision for income tax is covered under a separate AS. We will discuss it later, beta. This is regarding remaining provisions. Provision for losses in future. Provision for expenses, losses in future, basically. Do one thing which is very important. You will have to review the AS19. You will have to study the AS19 tomorrow. एक तो AS19 पढ़ के आना है आपने. And second thing is you have to do one thing. You should have to go for question for the examination question of previous years of AS. Then it will be more beneficial for you. Okay. So these are the simple theoretical points. I think everything is clear to all of you. You may just read it once. Any doubts will be taken in the next lecture. Having any doubt till now, you may ask me. किसी तरह का कोई डाउट है तो बेटा पूछ लो, नहीं तो फिर इसको रीड करना है आपने. अब क्या क्या रीड करके आना है आपने AS29 को भी रीड करके आना और AS19 को भी रीड करके आना. और जो आपने AS कर लिया है AS18 उसको भी एक बार रीड आउट कर लेना. एनी डाउट? डू वन थिंग, जब आप ये AS कर रहे हो तो थोड़ा पानी पीने के लिए अपना कुछ खाने पीने का सामान साथ में रख लिया करो. बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा सा ये अलग नेचर का होता है. हाँ, टुमारोज AS इज वेरी प्रैक्टिकल एंड एडवांस. AS19 is a very advanced AS because the remaining 5 AS have been left, and these all 5 AS are very important. AS19 is very lengthy AS. It will take complete one lecture. You have scanner of previous year question. If you have, then please upload it, because beta a scanner is not available in online format. You may better purchase it from the market. It will be a better option. Okay, then all the best. So session can be closed, sir.